Neuroscientist says if you hold a thought for at least 17 seconds, it will begin to manifest. Need some money? I guess think about money for at least 17 seconds. It'll start to manifest. Or so the neuroscientist says. Want a little bit troll be gone? Think it away. Are you liking someone? Want them to enter your life? You could just think the trolls away. The sky's the limit. Let's take a look. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Let's take a look.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, 17 seconds, 17, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, you get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. So let's say that I normally live in contentment, and that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden, a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened. This knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. So I go to the supermarket, and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items, and I'm getting in line, and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day, and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
So how many of you out there are buying into this? Like, and don't be a troll. Don't be a troll. I already saw a troll last night's video. Come on, man. Come on, man. But how many of you believe in this? All right, so, you got dangerous drivers. You got assholes out there on the road. They'll pull out right in front of you. You're on the highway, and they're coming out from a parking lot. Instead of them waiting for you to pass, you're in close proximity to them. There's no one behind you. What they'll do is they'll sit there till you get close to them, and then they'll pull out in front of you instead of waiting for you to pass by, and then they can pull out because there's no one behind you. They'll pull out in front of you and slam on your brakes. It pisses you off, right? A lot of assholes out on the road. You still see these mask holes wearing the muzzles to this day. That might piss you off. But you get to the grok store, the grocery store, and there's a new cashier there, or cashier going, boop. Not like Aldi. Aldi be like, boop, 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 boop. So I like that's one thing I like about Aldi, but it could be like Walmart. Boop. You get to the cashier, right? You're already annoyed as it is. You just drove and had to deal with assholes on the road. You're annoyed. You get to Walmart, and there's a person in front of you with a fucking cartload of stuff, and you have a couple of things in your hand, and you think the person in front of you would say, "Hey, would you like to go in front of me?" No, they don't, right? And then on top of it, you got a slow ass cashier going, "Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo," and you're like, "Come on, man, can you get the lead out?" And so you get further annoyed. So you're saying that prior experience on the road that got you annoyed, pissed off, right, created the circumstance at the store, the slow cashier, to further piss you off? Or was that slow cashier going to be there no matter what, and you're in a state of pissed offness, so it furthered your pissed offness? But if you were having a wonderful day and you just hit this little impasse or this little impedance or whatever, you might take it in stride. Which is it? I like to believe your thoughts can manifest stuff, and 17 seconds can manifest things. And I think thoughts have a level of power, okay, and vibration. That's true too, and all that. So, what do you think? I mean, can you think about, well, I need money, I need this, so let me think about money. Let me think about this. Or is it you're thinking about ways to make money and then you act upon it? What is it? Is it the actual thought? Can you actually think about, like, all right, what if there's someone you like I mentioned before? What if there's someone you like, at the gym or wherever. All right, and all you can do is think about that person. Think about me and that person or whatever. Is that person really going to come into your life because you thought about them over 17 seconds? I don't know. I'm just asking you. All right, I'm asking for a friend. Well, let's take a look at this real short clip about 3 to 5,000 people dying a day in America. I mentioned to you years ago when the scamdemic first broke out, fake virus psyop broke out, that typically a typical day, 8,000 Americans die. That's the information I came across. Now, die a day. Now, that's due to old age, due to the C word that rhymes answer, and other illnesses, accidents, everything, any category of death, it's all under the umbrella of about 8,000 a day. All right. This clip I'm going to show you says that 3 to 5,000 are dying a day. Now, I don't know if that's in addition to the 8,000 that die from various means on a typical day, or is it included? I don't know, but that's still that's like a small town a day dying in America. And you think depopulation is not underway. And of course, people are losing jobs. You got to be some kind of moron not to think people are increasingly losing jobs more than ever. They are. Look at our economy. Still hasn't really improved at all. In the last 4 years under Beijing Joe Biden, which is your president, if you're a troll, is what caused it. Let's take a look at this video. Don't be a troll out there. I'll rip you a new one. Time for damn troll. Ain't got time for jackass trolls. Piss me off. Oops. Trolls piss me off, causes low vibration. My bad. Doesn't piss me off. Makes me happy. Trolls. Except for the fact it doesn't. My bad. It's 3 to 5,000 a week, not a day. It's still a lot. That's a lot. All right, here it goes. Take a look. Take a look at this. Let's start it. Let's get it going.
So, our work has suggested that the vaccines cause death, disability, and injury, and we don't know the medium-term effects. We stopped doing research in this area at the beginning of this year because we did a lot for free, and free doesn't pay the bills. But one of my friends on X, Ethical Skeptic, who is a very smart man, does consulting and knows how systems work. He says the current run rate of excess deaths from the vaccine are probably 3 to 5,000 a week in the U.S. So that's 200,000 individuals a year. The disabilities are 4x that. The injuries are 10 to 15x that.
And do you think the reason that individuals aren't coming forward and speaking out about their cases is just the cognitive dissonance that exists within them, the desire to believe that they did the right thing, perhaps the shame at falling for propaganda and then having such a disastrous results? Why don't we see out in the open more vaccine injured or relatives of people who've died coming forward, trying to let their voice be heard? I know there's some of them, but why do you think there's so few relative to the statistical injuries?
There's a lot of them, and they're being suppressed, and that continues. And so there's a lot already. There's a lot of converts that have figured out that this is garbage. But you're right. There seems to be this cognitive disconnect where people don't want to admit that they've made a huge mistake and they don't want to talk about it. I mean, anecdotally, we've all met people who, someone died mysteriously at a very, anywhere between 30 and 50. Someone dies just, without any reason. That didn't used to happen before these vaccines. I mean, it happened, but it was so rare. So these unexpected deaths, if you know, but you can't even bring up the conversation with some of the family members because they don't even want to know. They just don't even want to know.
No, they don't want to know.
So it's cognitive disconnect still.
Do you know how many people in our family that we've lost because they didn't want to hear it? Most of my family died from it was in Long Island. I think like four family members. Cancer. Other people have died in my life. I had a neighbor up at the campground across the way. It's very good. His wife took it. She didn't get sick. He took it, but he also had a kidney transplant. And the perfect match for that actually happened to be his wife. But he also took the Quaxines, and she did too, but she didn't have a kidney transplant. I think that's what the Quaxine, along with the kidney transplant, is what did him in. But if he didn't take the Quaxine, perhaps he would have lived with the kidney transplant. I think he was just too compromised. Died. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Gentle soul, and you don't meet genuine good people like that every day, or every month, or every year. It's a shame. And when you talk to these people about the Quaxine, when we tried to knock the sense into our family members before they even took it, don't take it. Well, my aunt in Long Island, she listened to Dr. Z-Dog. That was his name. I was like, that's severely unprofessional. What a moron he is, and what a judge or moron you have to be to follow anyone like that. And I saw him on Facebook talking about how great the Quaxines were and all this bullshit. And they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear that it was poison. They didn't want to hear that there's a depopulation agenda going. They didn't want to hear that there's no such thing as viruses. And so they took the Quaxines, they took the boosters, and well, my one aunt in particular died within a month of bone cancer, and an uncle had died of liver seas, and he never drank. And then that uncle, he's still going, but he had bladder seas. He had to get his bladder out, and he's in his 80s. And he still works to this day, because that's what he likes to do. He owns his own company. All in Long Island, too. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. No, there's a lot more people that are awake since 2020 that have become awake, but there's still a lot out there. I see. I go to the grocery store tonight. Girl working there at the self checkout, all muzzled up. 20 years old, going to college, all muzzled up. Told her there's no such thing as a virus. They don't want to hear it. You'll be surprised how many people you could try to educate them about radiation and how it can cause cancer and all that stuff, and they just don't want to hear it. You could talk to people about chemtrails, point to them in the sky. They don't see chemtrails. It's just the clown world that we live in. So he's right. They don't want to hear it. And because they don't want to hear it, because they want to remain ignorant, they get what they get. That's all I can say. They were warned. The sheep were warned. I've been saying that for years. Treaty 5,000, I said a day. Oh, my bad. It's a week. That's still a lot. That's a small town of people dying every week just from taking this. Just from that. Not to mention all the other deaths going on. So, yeah, depopulation is underway. People are losing their jobs. You got to be a special kind of stupid not to know that. Big time. They're losing their homes. They can't afford their apartments. They're living in their cars increasingly. Just because you have control or anybody else out there, it doesn't mean it ain't happening. It ain't happening increasingly. It is. It is. That's the goal. You'll own nothing by 2030. You'll be happy. You'll be living in stack 'em and pack 'em 15-minute open-air prisons, if you're lucky. They want most of us gone. And they want to make the workforce automated. They plan on making the workforce automated by this year, 2025. I've been talking about this for several years now. Just because it hasn't come to fruition doesn't mean that's not their goal. It's just that they move the goalposts a little bit further down. All right? But look at AI and robots. Supposedly they're assembling millions of robots that soon will be all around us. And it's going to happen. That's their plan. And their plan also is to have a carbon-free, zero-carbon world. Well, I mean, who's the carbon? Go look in the mirror if you're a human being. If you're a fat control, you're probably not carbon. I mean, just because it ain't happening in your neck of the woods doesn't mean it ain't happening. Doesn't mean it's not unfolding right now. Of course their agenda is. You got to be a special kind of really stupid not to know that. But I digress at any rate. Vaccine death data. The vax is killing, the quacks is killing 3 to 5,000 Americans per week. I said a day. I thought it was a day. It was a week. It's late. All right? So it is what it is. But try not to think about it. At least try not to think about it for 17 seconds. Or whatever. I'm out.